How cool would it be to finally have dolphins, manatees, and just in general aquariums in Planet Zoo? In this video, we're going to talk about what is required to actually get this stuff, and therefore we are in Photoshop. And in Photoshop, I'm going to show you a couple of things I did in advance. You can see a couple of layouts down here, and we are going to discuss the things I've done. Now, I must add, I have already done this before the video. I tried doing this during the video, but it took longer than I expected. So you are the lucky ones now to witness what I've already done. Let's just jump in with the first thing, and there you've seen some changes happening now to this wonderful image. Now, have a look. A couple of things I'm gonna go through real quick. So the first thing you see, there's a little ball with which the wonderful sea lion is playing. This is the first thing I think we definitely require to have a bit more of an aquarium feeling. Animals need to play underwater, and the only thing we have right now is the buoy tool, which kind of isn't really a toy. It's basically they swim against it and it wobbles. I mean, that's all about it, you know. The next thing is this wonderful diver here to the left. We can actually zoom in once more and have a better look at it. So this diver, I think, is the keeper cleaning. So basically it's the development of the poover, you know, this wonderful kind of weird thing they're using, this kind of vacuum cleaner to suck in the poop. This one over here would be obviously a diver, and I imagine that the keeper's just gonna go in, jump up, turn around like in The Sims, and then they have like their scuba diving stuff on in here, and they just go underneath the water and just do a little bit of cleaning, just one animation, and then go back. And we already have an animation of cleaning the windows in the game, so cleaning is part of the keeper's job anyway. That would be lovely. And the second bit over here is the next feeding. You know, this is kind of a keeper up here having like a bucket of fish or so in their hands, and this is how I imagine feeding could be. You know, having a platform like that would also be a good way of having the entrance to the underwater area, and then they just throw in the wonderful stuff. Now the other, or the fish or whatever, the other idea I had is what happens, how do animals actually get into their habitat? And so I did two different variants of a gate. So as you can see over here, there is down here, this is the, it's kind of a closed gate, which could be the one as like putting animals in, the, you know, caretakers bring them over, and instead of going through the gate, they actually would basically put them next to the habitat, and then they would enter into the tank, just as in Jurassic World Evolution, for example, when the underwater gate is opening and then the animals swim in. And I also had the idea of like an open version that goes into more like of a backstage area. This could be working exactly like the entrance to the viewing domes we just recently got to the game. So there are a couple of variants how to do that, and basically this is the exact same way how keepers as a diver could get into a full tank. Like this is a semi-aquatic habitat over here, which features also a land area. So there you can still have a gate, but what if you just have a pure tank? I would imagine you have like a platform like that. This is basically for the keepers to go overground. There is where the gate is connected to, but if you don't have a gate, this is basically as soon as you plop in an underwater gate to your fences, it creates a gate like that, and this is where the keeper would get in as like a diver, or the animals would swim in like this open version, for example. Now let's move on. The next picture we have over here is another wonderful underwater shot of my aquatic dome I built over a year ago, and or 2 years ago I should say, with the introduction of the aquatic pack. But now if we hit B, which is over here my lovely little stuff I did. So there's a swarm of fish, as you can see in here, as something we would require in a habitat anyways. A bit more of fish, maybe as a VFX, maybe as some food, I don't know. In the back you can see another diver doing the cleanup, and to the right hand side there's a different variant of a gate. So not really much more to discuss, but I think, you know, just to show how much of a variation or how much variation you could have, this is how this could be solved. Moving on to the next one is our beloved little small exhibit, you know, and this one could be changed dramatically. Let's click on what I've done. So first of all, you can see there is a tropical variant of it. I have a couple of them. The AI didn't really do too much of a great job. I can show you a couple of variants, but you know, I think you get the idea. I think it would be nice to have certain variations in these. They're all not great, you know, but I think they sell the idea. There are also some funky ones like that one, or that one, or this one with like huge fish. But I think, you know, there are a couple of variants that look quite okay. If you imagine these were smaller, like a tad bit smaller, that looks fine, I guess. But yeah, so this is basically how that would go. But also on the left-hand side, I made like a little pond, and this one over here features a koi VFX, I would imagine. Like, obviously we wouldn't have them as like proper animals, but just imagining having them as a VFX, and maybe even, I don't know, something you add to the water volume, and as soon as this is understood that the game needs that, you could even have like a guest interaction of them feeding some bread or so into the water. I don't know, that would be what people would do in a zoo anyways, but maybe that's a tad bit too far in. I just love to have like a VFX of underwater features like kois or so, to you know, to breathe in some more life into our water volumes. Moving on to the next one. You can see this is the menu with the small exhibit you've just seen, and I was like, you know, we can just have like an additional add-on over here with like a full water exhibit with that little water pump icon, whatever that is. But you know, it's just the idea of having that as like in the menu. Take that, drop it down, and this would be full aquatic, maybe of different sizes, I don't know. Next up is another thing we need, and that is an underwater tunnel, and this would obviously be in the path section. So if we click that on, you can see over here there's like a tunnel icon that kind of goes in, and we know that this has been planned in the past. There have been rumors at the beginning, there have been data in the files, there have been stuff like that. Maybe they kind of want to overcome it now with these underwater viewing domes, but you know, it's going to lead into the direction we need. But just like auto tunneling works, I imagine this could be like an auto underwater pathway. So as soon as it detects that it's going to be in the water, underwater, it just creates like a, you know, a glass shape around it. And what I'm talking about is something like this. You can trick the game. Unfortunately, this trick isn't working anymore. It's been something that worked for a couple of years, but now it doesn't, unfortunately. But you can see this is the idea, and just to get an idea how that could look, you know, you could have like sharks. You know, it's not a good shark, but this is just what sells the idea, you know, having an animal swim above. I do have some animals in here. I could have taken just some actual animals from the game, but you know, they didn't do what I wanted them to do, so I did it that way. But just to give a bit of another view, so this is the tunnel from above. So the tunnel system would work exactly like this, you know, putting down the path, it automatically creates the tunnel. People can walk through and have a wonderful look. There's like an otter swimming above here, and I also imagine like having a manatee just floating above your heads would be super neat, super cool. But that's that, you know, you can see a couple of things we have brought into it. I actually want to go to my favorite, and that is this one. Let's move it all the way up so we can see that again. So this is my favorite shot because that shows how much of a difference that would make to the game. I certainly would love to see full aquatic. Last time we talked about the bird introduction to the game. I still believe that birds would be a lot more important to bring in people back to the game, but I equally would love to see full aquatics with these add-ons I just talked about. But now it's your turn. Tell me in the comments down below what you would need for a full aquatic DLC. What have I missed out on? What would you think would be nice to have? How do you think about the scuba diving cleaning method, or the method of having a gate to, you know, bring the animals in? So really let me know in the comments down below what you think about my ideas. But now I don't want to make it longer than it needs to be. I showed you all the points that I would need to have a full aquatic DLC, and I would actually love that. So thank you so much for watching. As always, make sure to drop all the comments. I really would love to understand what you guys would see for full aquatic DLC, or maybe you don't even need that. You're happy with the aquatics we have in the game already. Yeah, just let me know. Have a wonderful day. Thank you as always, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Goodbye.